us out. You just might find that the fun is back.
The USFL, where football is still a game.
In 1983, a new football league formed, one that Houston would play a part in, the United States Football League. It would bring a new brand of football with 2-point conversions, an 18-game season, and was played in the spring and summer, while the NFL didn't.
The league was so different than the NFL. It was more, to me, it was more about fun.
The USFL came out as if it was the NFL.
The league had TV contracts with ESPN and ABC.
I think the quality of play was really good. I mean, I don't know exactly how many players went over from the USFL to the NFL when the league folded. But once again, you already mentioned some like Reggie White, and you had Herschel Walker, you had Steve Young.
Despite all the great players who played during the USFL's 3-year run, there's only one player who can say
he scored the first 2 touchdowns ever in the first USFL championship game. That's like really big.
Derek Holloway calls Houston home now. But in 1983, he helped the Michigan Panthers be crowned the first USFL champions. In year 2, expansion would make its way to Oklahoma, Memphis, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, San Antonio, and Houston.
I began to study the different nuances of springtime football. It made so much sense. The stadiums were available. The cities were available.
Dr. Jerry Argovitz helped businessman Dave Dixon with starting the league. And the former dentist, real estate mogul, and sports agent ended up with a USFL team in the Bayou City.
I made a deal and bought Dave Dixon's franchise, the Houston franchise.
This would be the first time he'd owned any sports team.
Sitting on this side of the table, it is a hell of a gamble.
Argovitz, being a huge fan of Kenny Rogers, and his song, The Gambler, the nickname for the franchise seemed appropriate. Thus, the Gamblers were born.
When the Gamblers came along, I got so excited, and I was like, here's a new team that I can root for. And it's like, man, they just go up and down the field. I was like, it's amazing.
What was being witnessed was the run-and-shoot offense, perfectly orchestrated by quarterback Jim Kelly, who threw for over 5,200 yards and 44 touchdowns in his first season, both USFL records.
Jim said if it hadn't been for the USFL, he wouldn't have made the Hall of Fame.
The Gamblers would sling the ball all around the field for 2 seasons in the USFL, before the league would make an ill-fated decision to move to the fall.
If I had to single out the individual who really, let's say, pretty much killed the USFL, he was my friend Donald.
We'll have more on that in part 2 of our series on the USFL.
It's surprising, 30-some years later, that a league that lasted 3 years, people still talk about it.
The USFL and the Houston Gamblers had star power. The league had TV contracts with ESPN and ABC. But all of those things would be trumped.
As a football partner, he was a terrible partner. He only cared about himself.
Noted sports author Jeff Pearlman is working on a book chronicling how Donald Trump helped kill the USFL.
But they all almost universally blame Donald Trump for the death of this league. And they say it was about greed, and it was about arrogance, and it was about the single-minded desire to have an NFL franchise.
Trump hoped to be an NFL owner in 1982, but failed in his bid to buy the Baltimore Colts. In 1984, Trump had a vision of getting into the NFL after buying the USFL's New Jersey Generals. Trump was a brash owner who had the audacity to sign Heisman Trophy-winning Doug Flutie to a multi-million-dollar contract, wanting other owners to pay for it. Sound familiar?
We're going to make them pay for that wall.
I kid you not. It is the Mexican Wall, except in Doug Flutie and USFL.
The owner of the Tampa Bay Bandits, John Bassett, wrote a letter to Trump detailing how he was tired of the owner's tactics. While others may be able to let your insensitive and denigrating comments pass, I no longer will. I'll have no regrets whatsoever punching you right in the mouth the next time an instance occurs where you personally scorn me or anyone else who does not happen to salute and dance to your tune.
Why would a 37-year-old billionaire want to roll up his sleeves and do battle with the National Football League?
He had no patience. Donald wanted to force a lawsuit. Now, how can you have a lawsuit when we're playing in the springtime and they're playing in the fall?
If God wanted football in the spring, he wouldn't have created baseball.
Trump wanted to force a move to the fall and then sue the NFL.
I knew that we could win the lawsuit on antitrust violations They were definitely a monopoly. And that's what I told Donald. You hired Georgia Mel, a lawsuit has to be held in Houston, Texas, and you cannot be the face of this lawsuit. So people don't care if you lost $25 million. Because you tell everybody you got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Trump didn't listen.
The USFL suing the NFL for a total of $1.32 billion. It accuses the older established league of two things. First, conspiracy to put the USFL out of business. Secondly, unfair monopoly of network television.
So we won the lawsuit, got $1 for it, which is trebled, so we walked away with $3.
The league was left for dead. ESPN asked Trump about his role in the demise of the USFL.
I pressed them hard.
I don't agree with all of it. I really think the league could have stayed the course.
Would have been small potatoes.
It really pissed me off when I saw that. I mean, it was very upsetting to see how disrespectful he was. After he goes and kills the league, takes no responsibility for anything he did. We had collectively about $160 million invested in this league. We had great coaches. We had unbelievable players. If we would have stayed in the spring 2 more years, we would be playing football today.